awaiting a trial. Subtitle on freedom of media in Rwanda: State interference and intimidation have forcibly many civil society actors and journalists to stop working on the sensitive political or human rights issue. Most print and broadcast media continue to be heavily dominated by pro-government views. Independent civil society organizations are very weak, and few document and expose human rights violence by state agencies. In March, 4 bloggers were reported on alleged rapes by security forces and negative impact of government directives to counter the spread of COVID-19 on vulnerable populations. We were arrested in crime and circumstances that appear and rational to the government and COVID-19. In months later, prior to arrest, they also shared a testimony about long-standing dispute with the authority over land evictions in Bannyahe and the poor neighborhood of Kigali. People in that place faced a different problem based on their heritage and long-term property, because their neighboring of Kigali, they feel to separate them from Kigali due to their poor neighborhood and poor standard of living. On April 8th, Rwanda Investigation Bureau, together with the police agencies, arrested the Valentin Muhirwa and David Byiringiro, 2 bloggers with Afrimax TV in Kangondo II neighborhood of Kigali. 2 residents say the bloggers had requested permission from the local reader to distribute food and goods after hearing about the population struggles, but Rwanda Investigation Bureau, together with the police agencies, arrested the men, accusing them of violating government directives and organizing unauthorized distribution. In April 12, Rwanda Investigation Bureau treated the confirmation of a list of Theonest Nsengimana, the owner of Umubavu Online TV and Umubavu.com, for regent food. Rwanda Investigation Bureau accused him of promising 20,000 Rwandan money francs, which is 21 USD, to people to say they are receiving assistance from abroad. The Rwanda Media Commission said in statement on April 13th that none of detained bloggers were arrested in retaliation for their work, and that online bloggers, such as those using YouTube, are not a journalist and are not authorized to interview the population. Muhirwa and Byiringiro were released in April. Nsengimana, released in May, was awaiting a trial at time of writing. On April 15th, Diodone Niyonsenga, also known as Chuma Hassan, the owner of Ishema TV, was arrested with his drive. Fideli Komezosenge. Under investigation, Bureau accused Niyonsenga of violating lockdown measures and giving Komezosenge an authorized pass, according to committee to protest journalists. They were charged with forging and claiming to be a journalist and yet not have the legal document and the permit to do so. Their trial was ongoing at the time of writing. Subtitle: Arbitrary detention of street children. Transit center in Rwanda are governed by in 2017 law establishing a national rehabilitation service, which stated that non-exhibiting advanced behavior can be held for up to 2 months without many other proof, legal justification and oversight. In July 2020, Human Rights Watch found that new legislation provided covers for police to continue to round up and rehabilitate detained children in debasely and degrading condition at Kangondo Transit Center. In February, the United Nations Committee on the Rights of the Child called for halt to rehabilitate detention of children in transit center in Rwanda for investigation into allegation of illness treatment, including beating them conditionally, for amendment to the legal framework that regularized this. Subtitle on COVID-19. Rwandan authority reacted swiftly and aggressively to the threat of global COVID-19 pandemic. Police arrested over 70,000 people. Infraction related to the measure introduced in March to prevent the spread of COVID-19, including curfew, laws, closure of bar and restaurant, restriction on movement. Authority accused the people of violating the measure and detained the people in stadium without due to process and legal authority. Schools were closed out for at least 6 months, starting in March due to the pandemic and affecting about 3.4 million children. Subtitle in International Justice. The arrest of Kabuga Falciani, one of alleged masterminds of Rwandan genocide in France in May, marked a major step towards justice for genocide victims and survivors. Kabuga is charged by international war criminals caught with the genocide and related to crime during 1994 genocide back in Rwanda, was lived in France under false identification at the time of his arrest. Kabuga had evaded arrest since 1997 when he was first indicated by a prosecutor with the International Crime Tribunal for Rwanda, which is ICTR. In September 30th, in 2020, French court ordered Kabuga's transfer to the International Residual Mechanism for Crime and Criminal Tribunals, which was established to handle the outstanding function of the ICTR, an international criminal tribunal for the former Yugoslavia, as those tribunals closed. The mechanism has a branch in Arusha, Tanzania, and the huge one is in Netherlands. In May, RMCT announced that remains of another high-profile genocide suspect, Augustin Bizimana, the Minister of Defense at the time of killing. We were identified in the point of DRC. He is thought to have died around in August 2000 or in 1998. The ICTR indicated Bizimana on the 13th count of genocide and other related to criminals. In August 2020, Rwanda Judicial Authority issued the international arrest warrant against Eroya Niwingabo, the former head of military intelligence, building a genocide after media revealed in July that he was hidden in France. France opened a probe into alleged crime against humanity by Niwirangabo after his whereabouts was revealed in time. Niwirangabo had previously been subject of arrest warrant included by the ICTR. The Mo report and the investigation data are still into the Idea Validation Center, and we will see it as they announce to later time. But this was very in both sides. They were able to navigate and get the true about it. They have posted about this is an international report, the global report on Rwanda situation and the living standard